What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from BackTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I promised, and I'm making it happen. We're talking Oscars. These are the supporting actors. I did supporting actress on my normal day, but as a Thanksgiving treat for you, because I know when you woke up Thanksgiving morning before the turkey, the first thing that you did was check YouTube and just come here and say, Sir, where are you? Do you have any more Oscar predictions for me? I continue to see films too, so my evolution of predictions is able to be shaped more since like the last time I did this category, or just in general. Plus, now there's been a CCA long list and an Astra nominations, one of which I was a part of. Hopefully next year I'll be part of both. That would be great. But we'll see what happens with that. So this year's supporting actor is actually like the easiest to kind of lock in some people, I think, but like the most locks. It seems like this one is right. It feels like it's shoring up too easily. Feels like I could just like do this in like 30 seconds and then walk away, and I don't need to talk about all of the other people who are eligible. So, number one, I'm still putting him at top because I don't think that there's a path. I don't think there's a way Skarsgård doesn't get nominated. And I've thought about this throughout all the potentials. I believe he got a CCA shortlist or long list or whatever. I don't know why they would leave him off. I don't know that why that would be a thing. Um, I think yeah, he was nominated Astra, which divided into drama and category. He has worked with so many SAG members that he doesn't feel like a stretch. It doesn't feel like they're trying to find an international nominee that nobody knows and nobody's ever worked with. Stellan has been in enough movies and has enough people that he's worked with doing American cinema that I think he's going to SAG nomination. It's kind of unusual. Like they didn't do it for Sandra Hüller, but Sandra Hüller didn't have the body of work that Stellan has. Stellan feels like the rare sort of international nominee who can really cross over. Um, so yeah, he's going to get a Golden Globe nominee. That's an international critics base. I don't see how he doesn't get the Oscar nomination. I think he'll get a BAFTA. I don't see him missing anywhere. There's no major nomination where I see him missing. So, I think he's my number one because of that. My number two has actually changed a little bit, even though I don't think he'll win. I think Paul Mescal is sort of in the same boat. I look at it and I go, somebody would really have to hate Hamnet for him to not make the cut. And Hamnet seems to be a well-liked enough movie that if you're going to vote for Jesse Buckley, you're going to vote for Paul Mescal. I don't know that he has enough support to win. I think the winning is going to be between Stellan, Sean, maybe those two. But I think he's safer for a nomination, whereas Sean Penn does have to battle against Benicio del Toro, and there is a chance where Benicio could knock Sean Penn out accidentally in the process. Unlikely, but a chance. Whereas Paul is not going to get knocked out by Jacoby Jupe or Joe Alwyn, so it's not happening. Yeah, I don't see him missing anywhere either. I've looked at the season. I think he's a sure BAFTA nominee. You know what I'm saying? I think those two are definite locks for the remainder of the season. Um, and also they're both in indie films, so they have chances of even getting like Independent Spirit. I think I'm pretty certain they can both get Independent Spirit nominations. So we'll see. But so they're my top two. My number three is Sean Penn, and I think it's a great performance. I wonder, it's his third Oscar, which is why I still think he has. I wouldn't predict him for the win. That's a lot. And you got Stellan here. The narrative is there. Once he gets the nomination, people are going to be focused on this guy that's been working forever. I still think this is Stellan's to lose. I don't think this is. I think the narrative to give Sean Penn a third Academy Award is just not as strong as to give Stellan his first. So Sean is just lower on the list because Benicio del Toro is rising, and that makes it a little bit harder because Sean could lose. There is a world for a long time. I'll point out in a recent year, a lot of people had Paul Dano for a long time, and then Judd Hirsch overtook him, and then Paul Dano ended up not getting a nomination for The Fabelmans. So while I think that's unlikely here, there is a possibility that Benicio del Toro does so well and people just are kind of cold to Sean Penn, or they don't want to nominate a villain, whatever their thing is, or it's the 3-time thing, where del Toro gets the nomination and not Penn. So he can't be my number one for the nomination. But yeah, I think he's got CCA shored up. SAG would be a question for me because I don't know how his base feels about him. He certainly has lived an interesting life. I could see SAG snubbing him for Benicio. That's probably the one snub I could see. I don't think he'll be snubbed by Golden Globe, and I think he'll go on to get an Oscar nomination. But he could get a road bump at SAG, and Benicio could get in and not Sean Penn. Kind of like what happened at Gotham's. So I'm gonna go with Sean Penn. So in number 4, depressingly, I think this is happening. One Battle seems to be just the juggernaut that can't be stopped, can't stop, won't stop. And I kind of fixed my problem with we're doing too much by moving Chase Infinity from actress to supporting and knocking out Regina Hall and thinking maybe Chase will get the supporting nomination, and people just won't accept the fact that she's submitted in lead, because they've done that before. Like, you don't have to. There's no hard and fast rule that says you must vote for this person in the category in which they submitted. So I think people just perceive her as a supporting actress, and she might get enough votes down there to get that nomination. She's not getting a lead actress. That'll be the one category where it just doesn't happen for them. But Benicio del Toro is my number 4. He hasn't been nominated in a long time. I think One Battle is going to juggernaut its way in through the race. Even for the other films that have a lot of potential, the other films that have high nominating potential, Sinners and Frankenstein, are both horror movies. And there's no real guarantee that they can get acting nominations. So, like, I think it's easier to predict Benicio del Toro than it is to predict Jacob Elordi or Delroy Lindo, Miles Caden, or forget his name from the third supporting actor in Sinners. Yeah, and that's the other thing with Sinners, is that Sinners has 3 supporting actor legitimate possibilities. So it's hard to say who necessarily would even get in from that film. Whereas One Battle kind of stops it too. No one else is talked about in this film. So those are my top 4. For my number 5, this is where it gets tough. So I don't think it's any of the Sinners actors, and I won't predict them until the voting bodies can figure out which one they're voting for. Because, like, the Astros just gave Caden and Delroy nominations. Doesn't really help. So that field needs to be narrowed a little bit, because I don't think we're going to get 2 Sinners actors and 2 One Battle actors and Stellan. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think that's going to happen. What are we going to do here? So, or 2 Sinners, but one Battle. Jeremy Strong is not happening. That's gone out of the race. He couldn't even get an Astra nomination, and they split supporting between comedy and drama. And he still didn't get enough votes to get in. So Uh, yeah, I think that's dead in the water. We've got I talked about Jacob Elordi. Man, that'd be great. That'd be fun. I would love Jacob Elordi here, and I toy with the idea of him being in fifth, but I kind of lost him when I decided to move Benicio up. I think I lost Jacob Elordi. So, I, what other films do we have? Jonathan Bailey for Wicked. I thought earlier in the season maybe, but now that I'm seeing the reactions to Wicked for Good, it's not going to happen. The film's going to be lucky if it gets Cynthia and Ariana in. They're not going to bring Jonathan Bailey along for the ride. Uh, I I'm picking Adam Sandler. I'm just trying to figure out who the other ones are. William H. Macy for Train Dreams. I think that's an outside. That's really an outside shot at a nomination. Um, who else is in the race? Like, who else is still existing? Who else is breathing in this thing? Like, who else still has a pulse at all? Keanu Reeves for Good Fortune was nominated at the Astros. That's going to be a no. I've seen people trying to make a different nomination from Jay Kelly happen. I just don't think Billy Crudup is going to defeat Adam Sandler for the nomination. I don't know. I like Billy, but this is not going to be his film, not his time. I don't see a Wake Up Dead Man, even though Josh O'Connor's gotten some love thrown his way from the Ostras. What? Oh, I would love to see Ben Foster for Christie. That would be great. That would be an inspired nomination, but that requires a lot of work on Christie's part because not only do they have to get Sydney Sweeney in there, but they have to get the film to feel like it's so big that Ben Foster comes along with it. You know what I'm saying? Like they have to, because he's very much, once again, he's in the position where he like rides along with the film. Poor guy can never just get the accolade for himself. But if I was an Oscar voter, I'd be voting for Ben Foster. I would knock out somebody else who's in the top five, and one of my votes would absolutely be for Ben Foster. He is terrifying in that movie. He is scarier than Sean Penn is in One Battle After Another. I'm sorry, it's a better performance. It just is. He's more frightening. He has lost himself completely in that role. And Ben Foster continues to turn in great work. Sean Penn has two Oscar wins. Yeah, I would absolutely give Ben Foster his first Oscar nomination for Christie over Sean Penn for One Battle After Another. I don't care if that's a hot take. I really don't. Sean has enough. He's fine. He'll be good. Ben, on the other hand, we failed to nominate him for Hell High Water, where he absolutely deserved to be nominated. And he also was up against, he co-starred with Woody Harrelson in The Messenger, where Woody Harrelson got the nomination, but not Ben Foster. So he's been adjacent to Oscar for a long time now, and there's a really good chance that Sydney Sweeney gets nominated, and once again, not him. So I'm tired of seeing Ben Foster getting shut out. He's an excellent actor, and this is my lobbying. For your consideration, Ben Foster and Christie, please. But yeah, I'm going with Adam Sandler. I think Jay Kelly, it seems like it's muted right now because Jay Kelly hasn't really released and hasn't hit Netflix, so people haven't really hit peak Jay Kelly moment yet. And that's coming. So Marty Supreme, I don't think that actor is doing himself any favor by advocating for AI. I don't think that's a thing. I think you're seeing, there's a guy, I don't know what his name is. There's a supporting actor that's running from this, and they keep interviewing him, and he has made some statements about AI. And he's like, I think we should use AI to get rid of extras. It's like, okay, it's a hot take that's going to go take your consideration race nowhere. But he's like, yeah, we pay them and they have to stand there for hours on end, and we don't really need them. We just AI in background characters. Cool. Definitely not getting a SAG nomination. That's for sure. Uh, SAG actors are looking at those interviews going, fuck you. So, and in general, people who like AI, like I mentioned when I did my last director prediction, Guillermo del Toro has made a strong anti-AI sort of like, I'd rather die, I think was his quote. They asked him about would he ever use AI, and he said, I'd rather die. So, for the people in the industry who are like, we're going to be replaced by AI, Del Toro is gaining points. This other dude is like, yeah, we should totally use it. Fuck extras. You know, like, no, no, sorry, there will be no supporting actor nomination for Marty Supreme. Um, Not in this tight of a race, not when you have all these other choices. I can't even remember his name, the actor's name. I know he's done things, but I can't, but I think like I read that and I just couldn't be bothered anymore. I was like, well, this is not happening for you. Whoever is your publicist is crying. Um, so Kevin something is his name. Anyway, uh, Testament of Anne doesn't have any supporting. What else would be like a late stage surge? Song Song Blue doesn't have a supporting performance. Jim Belushi for Chronology of Water. That would be so interesting. I'd love to see that, but it's never going to happen. But my God, that was the most interesting thing when I sat through Chronology of Water. I was like, are you kidding? Are you serious right now? Is that Jim Belushi? It's like, it blew my mind. Top 10 most mind-blowing moments in cinema in 2025 was realizing that Jim Belushi could actually turn in a solid dramatic performance. And then also followed up, he's in Song Song Blue, but for way less screen time and way less impressive. Um, I think that's it. I think I give up. I raised the white flag on this one. I don't think there are any other supporting performances. There probably is. There's probably somebody else who ever is just screaming at me like, what about so-and-so? And I'm like, fuck, I don't know, man. Yeah, I could keep going through like random films and be like, well, why wouldn't so-and-so from this film be nominated? Well, and I don't know. Nobody's talking about Eddington anymore. So I think we've moved on. But no, like Rental Family has a supporting actor. I don't think that's not happening. Rental Family's not happening in general, like as a film. So why would I even bother? Um, uh, you know, Conan O'Brien's not going to get a nomination here for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I mean, yeah, there are other supporting actors. James Sweeney for Twinless would be an inspired choice. It's not going to happen. Dylan O'Brien would be lucky to get into a race anywhere other than Astra at this point. I think they're looking at spirits. Like between now and the end of award season, the next time you'll see Dylan O'Brien and James Sweeney are at the Independent Spirit Awards. Definitely Dylan O'Brien. There's no way he doesn't get an Independent Spirit Award nomination. But yeah, James Sweeney might also somewhere because he also like wrote and directed that movie. So he's got to be nominated in one of those categories. Yeah, I don't really see a path forward for anyone else that I can think of at this moment in time. So I'm gonna wrap up. My fifth place spot goes to Adam Sandler. I think Jay Kelly is still going to pop. My possible like swap would be if everybody votes for the same actor from Sinners, that would be a swap that I'd be willing to make. And also I'm looking out for Jacob Elordi still for Frankenstein. He could end up getting a couple nominations somewhere along the way. So I think those are probably the most likely candidates for that final spot of everyone else. So anyway, have yourself a happy Thanksgiving and eat the whole turkey. Don't share it with your friends and family. Just eat the whole thing. The tryptophan alone would just have a nice nap. Anyway, yeah, I'll be back on my normal day with my updated director predictions. Until then, see you guys on the other side.